Valentine's Day may have come and gone, but love is very much in the air this weekend. Whether you had a romantic dinner yesterday or are planning a belated celebration, food remains a key ingredient in settling the mood. Now, from elegant home-cooked meals to indulgent desserts, there are plenty of ways to keep the romance going. So if you're looking for last-minute ideas to impress your significant other or simply treat yourself, we've got you covered. And joining us to share some mouth-watering Valentine's meal weekend ideas is renowned chef Melusi Twala and chef Siyabonga Makena. Chefs, very good afternoon. Thanks so much for coming onto the show.
Good afternoon, Hugo. How are you doing?
I'm pretty good.
Thanks for the invite, by the way.
Pleasure, man. So
Yeah.
I cooked up a meal last night. Nothing like this here. So I think some questions are going to be asked. But looks like we've got a three-course meal here from what I can see. Chef Melusi, just walk us through what you've got and how you've put it together.
For me, it's all about the love, and most importantly, we just keep it nice and simple. Fine dining. So the fine dining that we've prepared is a starter, which is a fish mosaic with a bit of pickled onion, caviar, some yogurt, black apple puree, and some green oil with the cucumber mat. That's the starter. And then for our second course, it's lovely supreme with some broccoli, a bit of butternut textures, with Brussels sprouts, pumpkin seeds. So you always have to utilize each and every ingredient that you have on your plate. So you see, so now you've got a butternut, you've got another butternut puree, you've got pumpkin seeds. So there's no wastage. Because, you know, now a lot of chefs or a lot of people are trying to save in terms of cost, you know, because of healthy living lifestyle and also because of, you know, the economy, you know. So the third dish that we have, it's a lamb rack. Lamb rack is a jus of lamb rack with a bit of root vegetables. So you got your beetroot, you've got a radish, you've got your carrots, and then just to give it a bit of nice flavor, which is peas. Peas go well. So your dining, you know, when you do your food pairing, peas always goes well with the lamb rack and olives. So you'll see here, it's a jus of lamb rack. It's got a bit of olive oil. And then the other one is crusted and just rosemary. And
looks all fantastic. Chefs here, is there a missing part to the puzzle?
Yeah, we're missing dessert, chef, you know. What's life without dessert, you know?
The dessert, we were still catering, and then here's our dessert.
So our assistant, Darren's bringing that dessert onto the table. So walk us through, chefs here, the dessert that you've got.
We have a trio of desserts with our mini milk tart desserts, and we have a red velvet desserts, which is kind of made by our chef de partie at our Chef Marriott Hotel. And then we have garnishes that are made by him, but specifically it's called chocolate garnish. And then our last dessert is called, it's a complicated name, so I'll just ask my chef to like name it for you.
So what happens with the whole tree of milk tart? The beauty of it is the past and the present and the future. So the whole bistro at Melrose Arch that we're running now, it's a French bistro. So when I started 6 months ago, it was a matter of I have to take over a bistro that is French. So that was the foundation. That was the past. The present is what you're seeing here, which is the fine dining. You know, the future as the trios. Now, a lot of chefs have elevated and became innovative. Now we're using beetroot and as he said, there's a red velvet, there's beetroot textures there. And then you find chefs that will use a bit of carrots in your dessert, you know. Now it's been going on. Now we have like pop cremex. So that's how the dessert is going, with a bit of textures, chocolate soil, a bit of raspberry.
So what determines the type of dessert that goes with this specific meal? Could any dessert have gone, or do you prepare or provide a dessert based on the four course or the three course that goes before it?
That's a very good question. So whenever you're designing a menu, you need to be able to determine the amount of quantities that you're going to put on the first course, second course, and third course. So you will see here I've got a bit of it's a trio. Trio, you've got a loin, and you also got a lamb. So the trio now and it has to be, because it's not a 6-course.
Yeah.
So I added a little bit of every milk tart. So it's a milk tart, it's a red velvet, it's a milk tart made in pineapple. So that determines on how the quantity of what you have. You've got a supreme. So also in terms of healthy balance, you cannot start with a red meat. You have to start with a fish or a soup or amuse-bouche and then go into chicken.
So there's a little bit of a formula.
Yeah, that's a formula.
to come up with this.
Yeah. It's very hard. I always say, you know, to bring up a menu, it looks great, but there's a lot of logistics that are involved into going into a menu. You understand? Also, the type of kitchen that you have in regards to that.
So chef, let's move away from 4-course fine dining,
yes,
right, to those of our viewers that are at home that might be on a budget, right? Don't have too much time to go out and get a lot. What are your recommendations for somebody who's trying to cook up a storm tonight for or tomorrow for their better half?
That's nice. Okay, for me, it's you know, Valentine is all about love, you know, so you got to keep it simple. You can just do a simple salad, you know, to start off, or a soup. Because a soup, it's a dish on its own. The beautiful of a soup is it contains all the ingredients. It has your beef stock, you have your vegetables, you have your potatoes or sweet potatoes. So it's already a dish on its own. So you've covered the nutritional fats and benefits of a dish. And then going forward for Valentine's, it's either you have a lovely lamb rack with a bit of roasted vegetables and roasted potatoes and just a bit of greens and a bit of yellow vegetables. And then you can go up to having a fillet. A fillet is lovely, you know. It needs to be very, because it's very intense, so it needs to be something which is delicate and just a lot of protein, just a little bit of veggies, not like a buffet. So that's what I would suggest.
Chef Siya, I'm gonna defer to you because you're obviously a lot younger. You're still in training.
Yes, sir.
Right now, if you're speaking to your boys, right, who are out there, and they're saying to you, bro, I need to make something up tonight or tomorrow for lunch. What's your recommendation that's not so sophisticated?
Our generation does like new dishes, new lifestyle, something that's flashy, good for content. So I would recommend dishes like our Supreme has a lot of, it's so simple. It looks difficult when you look at it now, but actually it's very, very simple. So if I direct you from like a point of view from your perspective, if I had to explain it to you, you'd say, okay, this is kind of easy. And then you do it for yourself, for your wife also, because now you see a lot of colors, there's a lot of greens, it's very healthy, it has protein. It's like, it's already a story on itself. So when you take a picture, it's already amazing to the content viewers. And then for desserts, trio of desserts, I can bake that for you. I don't mind baking for my friends, you know. My friends call me, they're like, yo man, bake me something. My girlfriend is coming over, I want to impress her. It's fine with me. So it's always about, I always think about taking what they already know, but making it already a bit more defined. Make more elegance, make it more, look more presentable to the viewers.
Right. Now, Chef Twala, we've obviously looked at a lot of sophisticated stuff, fine dining, the lamb rack there, but we also know that you won an accolade last year for something vegetarian. Yeah. Right. So we've got those viewers that are off meat, that are vegetarian. What is your recommendation on cooking up a storm of sorts that's strictly for the vegetarian?
So my favorite for Valentine's is I enjoy making a mushroom sausage, mushroom and cauliflower sausage. And then you can make a bit of cauliflower. Utilize so I'm playing around with cauliflower. So you utilize the cauliflower, make a cauliflower rice, have a bit of green oil, and then you have your sausage. And then, as I believe in our own cuisine, South African cuisine, yes, I've traveled abroad and learned a lot of skills throughout French, but it's very important that you know your roots. So for a starch, I prefer that you do like a mabele pap tart or mabele or a sorghum, you know, or infuse a bit of broad beans or mrojo. You know, that's the whole idea. Because but you know, plant-based, because I have so much passion for the plant-based right now, and you know it's challenging. for you to create something out of it. So when you play around your moroch, your mabele, and you know, a bit of beans, it plays a big role. You know, like for instance, there's a soup that I grew up with, which was a pea and just bones. You know, our parents, you know, they couldn't afford a lot. We were financially deprived. So if you had that soup, it wasn't a lot of things, but it was so tasty. It was to die for, and have that little bit of brown bread.
Yeah.
You know, it played a big role to us, and we grew up with it, and we enjoyed it. So now I'm infusing, you know, itombolo, not to forget itombolo, those kind of stuff, and he's always making the tombolo there for our guests there, and they enjoy it. And it's simple tombolo with a bit of rosemary, and we having a lot of good feedback, and it looks like a mushroom. So when the guests ask, they were like, can we have that mushroom bread?
Yeah.
So yeah, I would go for that direction, you know, in regards to plant-based. Plant-based is very important because, you know, last year when I won the plant-based, that's the biggest highlight of my career, because the same place that I won the plant-based is the same place that I started my career at the Wanderers Club, 2006.
Wow.
And then now last year, I just recently, and it was the first 50 gala dinner for South African Chefs Association, which was big, you know. So for me, it's the highlight of my career, and I will never forget. Thank you for mentioning that.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Chefs here, as we round up, walk us through what your favorite meal is.
Oh, my favorite meal. I don't have a specific favorite meal because I like tasting new cuisines every day. I like exploring new cuisines, especially from a chef point of view. You're always tasked to try new dishes, to always try new things. But if I had to specifically choose one dish, I'd have to choose my grandmother's dish. When I was young, God rest her soul, she made this nice lasagna. Oof. I can tell you now, whoever made it could not compare to my mom's lasagna. Even now, if I had to try her dish, there's no one else who can beat her. So that's my favorite dish.
And Chef Melusi, your signature dish?
Basically, it has to be inyama yenhloko. You know, inyama yenhloko is, I remember my friend Alfred, may he rest in peace also. So what happened with Alfred? So I remember our first interview at, we had nothing, and we were coming from Soweto. We had to catch trains. We only had 20 rand, me and Alfred. And then as we walked, so now we caught a train, and we didn't even pay for it. So we're in a train, and then we were hungry. With the 20 rand, we managed to buy, it was still 15 rand.
Yeah.
So we managed to buy pap and inyama yenhloko. And from that day, that was our mission, you know, during the day, this is what we're going to have, inyama yenhloko and bread, and then putu pap, and then breakfast we'll have a mankwenya. So for me, it still stays as one of my favorite dishes. So you will see, in the menu that we have at Marriott Hotel, there's an ox tongue broth. So that dish is inspired from inyama yenhloko. So, you know, it's flavorful now. I've added a bit of baby marrows, a bit of confit tomatoes, truffle oil, just to enhance it and innovate it, because we're looking at a different clientele from different, you know, demographics. So, yeah, I would say inyama yenhloko, it goes way back. You know, like that 20 rand made a difference to us. It got us to places that we couldn't get to. So I'll always have a respect for inyama yenhloko.
Fantastic, very interesting. Chef Melusi Twala and Chef at Siyabonga, thank you so much to the both of you for coming on and giving our viewers ideas on what to do this Valentine's weekend.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for the invite.
Okay, that's where we leave this conversation. If you were short of ideas, I'm sure you have plenty to do between now and the end of this Valentine's weekend.